NBA basketball totals for Friday. This is a segment where we check out NBA totals set by odds makers. We try to beat that line either over or under the total. Not having a great season in the NBA. We have a winning percentage, but right now, as far as profit is concerned, we're like dead even, which is not great. Our NCAA segment is also out there. That one's actually going pretty well, so you do want to check that one out. NBA, you might want to see what I have to say and then analyze the game yourself. And if we agree, then maybe you want to go ahead and pull the trigger. But we could be doing better. Fortunately, it's just right in front of the All-Star break. We got the whole second half of the season to improve. The good thing is we're not in the negative. So let's go ahead and let's continue to do the segment. Usually we're doing this live. We're going to be doing it Sunday to Thursday. We'll be doing live segments. You guys got to jump in at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. Been a lot of fun. Great feedback, especially when you disagree with me. I think that's fantastic because then we just makes the discussion more interesting, and we try to all make a profit. So that's great. Be sure to tune in to that NBA segment again. That's Sunday through Thursday, and once again, NCAA segment is out there. You got to check that one out. SBRpicks.com. You got to check that one out as well. Sportsbook Review is what it's all about, though. That's the website that I work for. All the odds and numbers are there, so that's what you really want to check that out and look for those sign-up bonuses and things like that as well. YouTube channel, Facebook page, all sorts of content for you, and it's all free. So be sure to check out Sportsbook Review. Let's break down some totals. Sorry, I was bouncing around a little bit there, treating this almost like a live segment. So we got 3 games on today's card for the NBA. And first one we're going to look at, we have 1 over and 2 unders, is Los Angeles, the Lakers, and the Milwaukee Bucks. 219.5. I have it set by odds makers, and I'm going over. Now, they haven't met for a while, but there's no reason for me to believe that this is not going to be an absolute track meet. The game is at Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee, the last couple of matchups they've had with teams similar to Los Angeles, in which a team that really pushes some tempo, they had some really high-scoring affairs. Against Phoenix, they had, about almost 250 points a final, and then against Houston, really high final, and then against Denver, really high final. That's kind of what you're going to get with the Lakers, a team that doesn't play a lot of defense, that really likes to push tempo and shoot the three. And so I believe Milwaukee is going to be really happy to see the Lakers because they play almost no defense. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Los Angeles right now, they're allowing 110.5 points per game. That ranks 27th in the NBA. And then the defensive percentages, they rank last in the NBA in opponent 2-point shooting percentage and overall shooting percentage. Now, I know Jabari Parker is out, but if anything, it's going to help Los Angeles probably to score a little bit more because he's a decent defensive player. And the Lakers, they can shoot a little bit. They're shooting 44.4% from the floor, and they're averaging 104.4 points per game. Milwaukee's not bad defensively, but they rank in about the middle of the league. I think the tempo is going to be there. I really do. The Lakers are averaging 87 attempts per game. Milwaukee doesn't average that, but as I just mentioned, when a team comes in and wants to get up and down, Milwaukee's not going to have a problem with that, and they're really due to bust out a lot of points. I think they're going to be able to do that against a Lakers team, again, that plays basically no defense, and Milwaukee can score. Right now, they're shooting 47.5% from the floor. They're ranked 4th in the NBA in that category, and they're averaging 104.9 points per game. The reason why they don't average that much, they only rank 19th in scoring, is they don't push tempo. But with the Lakers coming in, I think they're going to push tempo and go ahead and get over this total. So I'm going to back over that 219.5 with Milwaukee and Los Angeles. Next one up, Indiana and Washington. This seems to set up to be an over affair, but I don't think so. I'm going to go under the 214.5 set by odds makers. So now they met up back in December with a 111-105 final. So we got 116 points. Odds makers had that one at 214.5 also. And so in this matchup, they didn't really move the line that much. The second time they're meeting now. This is their third matchup this year. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the third time they met this year. The first one was a 107-105, so 212. So they've been hovering right around this number. That line was 211. But odds makers didn't get crazy with the line, even though Indiana and Washington can really push some tempo. But both these teams can actually play surprisingly good defense. Let me tell you about here on the matchup. Defensively, you're talking about a Washington team. They're right in the middle of the league defensively, but more importantly is they're allowing 38.8 field goals made per game. That ranks 13th in the NBA, but even more importantly than that, in my opinion, is they're only allowing 84.6 attempts. That ranks 10th. Then we get to Indiana. They're about the same, a little bit reversed on those numbers, though, but they're only allowing 38.3 field goals made per game, which ranks 10th in the NBA. So decent defense by Indiana, and they're going to need to step it up today against a Washington team, for the most part, over the past 3 weeks has been really, really hot. Tough loss the other night against Cleveland. But Indiana, they're allowing just 44.8% shooting from their opponents. That ranks 6th in the NBA. Washington, not that great, but overall, you're talking about two decent defenses here. And surprisingly enough, one statistic really jumped out at me is Indiana. They're allowing just 10.9 fast break points per game. That ranks third in the NBA. So they're stopping transition. Washington ranks in the top 10 in that category as well. So although these teams like to push some tempo, I think it's going to be a little bit more controlled. This is an important game for both these teams. So look for a little bit more defense from both sides and for them to stay under this 214.5. This is a great matchup here. Two pretty good teams. Both of them were on quite the winning streak, and both their winning streaks, I believe, got snapped by Cleveland. I have to double check on that, but I believe I'm right on that. And the last one up, we got New Orleans and Minnesota. Not the greatest matchup in the world. I really do like Tom Thibodeau, though. And Alvin Gentry, they've actually stepped up the defense a little bit this year on New Orleans. They did not play well the other night against Utah. Oddsmakers right now, they have this line at 214, and I'm going under. I'm going under this. So I looked at the matchup here for a while, and they met back in November. That was a 117-96 final. So I'm not putting too much stock into that. It was so early in the season, but that was a 210 number set by oddsmakers as far as the total is concerned. Then before that, we saw, well, that was last year, different dynamics. I'm not going to get into that, but they had a 210 the only time they met up this year, and they went over that total. And they've actually gone over the total the last 5 times they've met. That's, again, we're talking about different dynamics, different head coaches and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and back under this total, though, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when we start breaking down the matchups here, Minnesota, I really believe, is a better defensive team than their statistics show. And the reason why is this, is although they're allowing opponents 47.1% shooting from the floor, that ranks 27th in the NBA, but they're allowing opponents just to get up 82.7 attempts per game. That ranks 5th, and they're also allowing just 39 field goals made per game. That ranks better than half of the teams in the NBA. So they're a decent defense. They rank 16th in scoring. They're right in the middle in a lot of categories. And New Orleans has really stepped it up defensively. They rank in the top 10 in opponent overall shooting percentage, opponent 2-point shooting percentage, opponent 3-point shooting percentage, opponent efficiency. I mean, they're all there in the top 10 in those defensive categories. It's 214 because New Orleans under Alvin Gentry goes really fast, and Minnesota's been caught up in some really, high-tempo, fast-paced affairs. But I don't think they're going to get there tonight. I think the defenses are going to step up just enough. Both teams are not particularly strong percentage-wise shooting teams. You got Minnesota, they rank 28th in the NBA. New Orleans, they rank 28th in the NBA in shooting efficiency, 24th in effective field goal percentage. And then you got Minnesota, they rank right in the middle of the league in shooting efficiency, and they're only averaging 84 attempts per game. That ranks 23rd. So pretty slow tempo. New Orleans still under Alvin Gentry, they like to go pretty quick. But at the end of the day, I just don't think they're going to get there. So I'm going to go back under this total, 214, with New Orleans and Minnesota. All right, that was pretty methodical. I jumped around a little bit, so so I apologize for that. Let's see if we can finish this up. All right, so again, we got 3 games on the card today for totals. We got the Lakers, Milwaukee, under the 219.5. Hang with me, guys. The Lakers and Milwaukee over the 219.5. That's going to be a track meet. Indiana, Washington under the 214.5, and New Orleans, Minnesota under the 214. That is it. Be sure to check out our other videos we have on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, as well as don't forget to check out my videos. We have an NCAA one and an NBA one. We'll have that for Saturday as well, and then we'll have our live segment next week. Come join that. That's a lot of fun to do, and I wish you guys luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.